In the heart of the bustling city, where icy winds swept relentlessly down darkened sidewalks and neon signs flickered in the night like distant memories, Alex sat alone on a worn concrete bench. Once a proud Marine sergeant, his body and soul bore the scars of countless battles fought on distant, unforgiving lands. Now, homeless and isolated from the world he once vowed to protect, he clutched a small handmade sign that read, "Help." Its letters faded by rain and time. The cold seeped into his bones, mirroring the chill that had long settled in his heart after the loss of his family and the relentless grip of post-traumatic stress disorder. Every passing face was a blur. Every sound of car horns and hurried footsteps felt detached from him, as if he were invisible in a city too busy to notice his pain. On this bleak winter evening, as the city's frigid rain lashed against his threadbare jacket and the wind howled through narrow streets, Alex's solitude was suddenly interrupted by an unexpected sound. Amid the cacophony of indifferent urban life, a low, insistent bark pierced the night. It came from somewhere near an abandoned construction site, a cluster of half-finished structures and forgotten materials on the edge of a busy intersection. Alex's eyes, tired and haunted by memories too numerous to speak, lifted from his sign, drawn by a sound that resonated deep inside him. There, in the dim glow of a flickering street lamp, stood a stray German shepherd. Despite the harsh weather, the dog moved with urgency, its keen eyes scanning the crowded sidewalk with an almost human intelligence. Its fur was matted and patchy from neglect, and one long, faded scar ran along its flank, a silent testimony to battles fought long ago. The dog's name, though unknown to passers-by, was destined to be reborn tonight as Titan. Titan's barking grew louder, not in anger but in desperation. It was a sound that carried a message, a plea for connection that echoed the very loneliness of the veteran before him. As Alex rose uncertainly, his gait hampered by the loss of his leg and the weight of grief, he stepped toward the sound. Each step was accompanied by memories of far-off deserts and firefights that now seemed as surreal as a half-remembered dream. Yet as he drew near, Titan's eyes locked with his, and in that moment, two tormented souls recognized each other. There was an electric stillness in the air, a fragile promise that neither of them was entirely lost. For seconds that stretched like lifetimes, time paused. Titan's bark softened into a tentative whine as he slowly inched closer. Alex knelt, his weathered hand trembling as he extended it toward the dog. "Hey boy," he murmured, voice rough from years of disuse, laden with a sorrow that had accumulated over endless lonely nights. "I know your pain. I know mine too." The dog's eyes, deep and searching, reflected that same pain, as if they were both ghosts seeking solace in one another. In that raw, unguarded moment, Titan darted forward, leaping into Alex's arms as if propelled by the force of fate. The dog's tail wagged weakly but steadily, and soon he pressed his muzzle against Alex's weathered cheek, licking away a tear that had escaped down the veteran's stubbled jaw. Their reunion was not the exuberant chaos of a joyful homecoming, but a fragile, quivering connection forged in shared despair. Alex gathered Titan close, feeling the rapid thumps of a heart that had weathered more than most could imagine. The battered scar along the dog's side, the evidence of a past filled with valor and violence, spoke silently of a history that had once mirrored Alex's own. For a fleeting moment, the man felt an unfamiliar warmth, an ember of hope amidst the relentless urban winter. The days that followed marked the beginning of a slow, painful transformation. Titan, now free from the harshness of the streets, became Alex's constant companion. Word of their tender encounter began to spread quietly among local passers-by. A homeless veteran found solace in the arms of a stray dog whose spirit was as battered as his own. Sometimes, as the rain turned to a soft drizzle and the city's harsh lights gave way to a gentler twilight, Alex and Titan would wander together along desolate avenues. Alex, with the heavy burden of PTSD weighing upon him, found that every compassionate glance from Titan rekindled memories of better days. A time when he served his country with honor and hope burned bright in his heart. In their shared silence, Alex would occasionally speak to Titan, as if the dog could understand every unspoken word. "You saved me that night, boy," he'd say, voice hoarse with emotion. "I thought I was done for, that the darkness would swallow me whole, but you reminded me that I still have a reason to fight." Titan would tilt his head as if in response, his eyes glinting with a loyalty that transcended words. In return, Alex tenderly brushed the scar along Titan's flank, recognizing in it not only a mark of physical pain, but the legacy of a life of service, a service he had known all too well, and one that had taken everything from him. One chilly day, as the urban winter began its slow retreat into the promise of early spring, Alex and Titan found themselves at a modest local shelter for veterans, a place that had long been a distant dream for Alex. Here, the support of caring volunteers and fellow veterans offered the semblance of community that he had craved for so long. It was at this shelter that Alex was given a chance to reclaim a fragment of the life he had lost. The shelter's walls, painted in warm, comforting hues, resonated with stories of redemption and second chances. Here, Alex was welcomed, not as a burden, but as a cherished soul whose experiences could help mend the hearts of others. It was during one of these hopeful days that fate delivered yet another moment that would cement the bond between Alex and Titan forever. Late one evening, as Alex sat quietly in a dimly lit park near the shelter, lost in recollections of battles past and the overwhelming weight of his regrets, an unknown threat emerged from the shadows. A mugger, drawn by desperation and the vulnerability of a solitary figure under the dying light, stepped forward with menacing intent. Before Alex could react, Titan, ever vigilant and fiercely protective, sprang into action. With a mighty bark that shattered the uneasy silence, Titan lunged toward the attacker, teeth bared and eyes blazing with an intensity that belied his age. In the ensuing struggle, Titan suffered a fresh injury, a deep scratch along his flank, and torn fur that marked his sacrifice. But the threat was repelled. The mugger, startled and overwhelmed by Titan's ferocity, fled into the night, leaving Alex shaken but unharmed. Witnesses captured the dramatic confrontation on their phones, a testament to the heroism of a battered veteran's loyal friend. The video went viral, igniting a wave of admiration that rippled across the nation. Headlines spoke of courage, loyalty, and the redeeming power of unconditional love. Donations began to pour in for both Alex and Titan. The shelter, bolstered by this surge of community support, provided Alex with long-sought medical treatment, warm housing, and a stable future. For the first time in years, Alex felt that he was seen and valued not as a homeless, broken man, but as a survivor with a story of hope. In the warmth of his new home, a modest apartment adorned with mementos of the past and tokens of community. Gratitude. Alex slowly began the journey toward healing. With Titan always by his side, the veteran joined a peer counseling program at a local veteran center. Here, amidst others who had borne similar scars, Alex found solace in sharing his experience. Titan, with his quiet dignity and unyielding loyalty, became a living example of how even the most wounded can find strength. Veterans gathered around him during group sessions, touching the dog's fur as if in silent prayer for healing, and nodding in recognition of the unspoken bond between soldier and animal. It was in these quiet moments of collective understanding that Alex realized his own suffering could be transformed into a beacon of hope for others. As the seasons cycled through the ever-changing urban landscape, icy winters giving way to gentle springs and vibrant summers, Alex embraced his role as a mentor and advocate. He dedicated his days to helping fellow veterans overcome the isolating grip of PTSD, their hearts soothed by the comforting presence of Titan. Together, they formed a therapy duo, a symbol of redemption born from the ashes of despair. Alex's story, once one of bitter loneliness and silent desperation, now glowed with the promise of second chances. The man who had once sat invisible on a cold city sidewalk had risen to become a guiding light for those lost in their personal darkness. One sunlit morning, as Alex and Titan strolled through a bustling park filled with the laughter of children and the gentle hum of community life, They paused by a blooming garden that had been planted in honor of veterans. The vibrant colors of the flowers, reds, blues, and yellows, stirred memories of a past filled with both pain and profound beauty. In that moment, Alex looked down at Titan, noticing how the dog's once ragged coat now shone with the care and love of a life reclaimed. With a soft smile, Alex murmured, "You saved my life, boy, not just that night, but every day since you found me." Titan's eyes, warm and knowing, seemed to convey the depth of his loyalty, a silent promise that no one would ever abandon him again. Their journey together had been marked by trials and triumphs. From that fateful, rain-swept night of reunion, on a cold city sidewalk to the dramatic confrontation in the dark of an urban park, every challenge had forged an unbreakable bond. The once invisible veteran had found both a protector and a kindred spirit in a dog who bore the scars of battle and abandonment, a living reminder that redemption is possible, even in the bleakest of circumstances. One evening, as twilight embraced the city in soft hues of purple and gold, Alex sat on the stoop of his apartment building, a modest brick structure that had become his sanctuary. Titan rested loyally beside him, head resting on Alex's knee, as they watched the city lights flicker on one by one. The air was filled with the gentle murmur of nighttime traffic and the distant hum of voices, signs that a community cared, that his once forgotten existence had been transformed into a life of meaning and connection. In a quiet, reflective voice, Alex began to speak to Titan, as if recounting a secret known only to them both. "I used to think I was broken, that I'd lost everything after the war, my leg, my family, my reason to live. I never imagined that in my darkest hour, I'd find you, a faithful friend who understands what it means to fight through pain and emerge whole again. With you, I've found my purpose. With you, I've learned that sometimes the ones we rescue end up rescuing us." Tears glistened in his tired eyes as the weight of his gratitude mingled with a quiet joy that had been absent for far too long. News of their extraordinary bond continued to ripple out into the world. The viral video of Titan's heroic intervention had not only brought accolades and donations, but it also sparked a movement, a renewed commitment to supporting homeless veterans and retired military dogs. Community leaders and local organizations rallied behind Alex and Titan, ensuring that other veterans in need would have access to shelter, medical care, and the opportunity to rebuild their lives. As time passed, Alex's transformation became a beacon of hope for many. He began speaking at local community centers and veteran support groups, sharing his journey with raw honesty and passion. His words, filled with the wisdom of hard-earned experience, resonated deeply with those who felt lost in the relentless tide of life's hardships. And ever at his side was Titan, whose steadfast presence had become symbolic of the unbreakable bond between a soldier and his dog, a bond that had been forged in the fires of war and tempered by the gentle art of healing. The story of Alex and Titan, once a tale of isolation and despair, was now celebrated as a testament to the power of loyalty, redemption, and mutual rescue. Their lives, intertwined by fate, were proof that even the deepest wounds could mend with time, care, and the unwavering love of a kindred spirit. In every gentle nudge from Titan, in every compassionate word from Alex as he shared his newfound purpose, there was an unspoken promise that no one was ever truly alone. In the final scenes of this transformative journey, as golden leaves danced on a crisp autumn breeze and the city embraced the promise of a hopeful future, Alex and Titan sat together on a park bench beneath a sprawling oak tree, a silent monument to the resilience of the human spirit and the enduring strength of love. In that serene moment, Alex looked into Titan's soulful eyes and smiled through tears. "We've come a long way, old friend," he whispered, voice thick with emotion and gratitude. "Together, we've learned that every ending can lead to a new beginning, that in saving each other, we've found our reason to live." And so, as the soft glow of twilight gave way to a serene, starlit night, the legacy of Alex and Titan shone brightly across the city, a living reminder that even those who have lost everything can find hope, healing, and a deep, transformative purpose in the unbreakable bonds of loyalty and love. In this quiet, dignified end, where a once invisible homeless veteran and his heroic former military dog become symbols of redemption and renewal, their story reminds us that no one is ever truly alone. For in the heart of darkness, the light of compassion can illuminate the path to a brighter tomorrow. Their journey, a narrative of survival, healing, and the unwavering power of connection, continues to inspire all who hear it, a gentle call to honor the sacrifices of our veterans and the extraordinary bond shared between man and his loyal companion. Thank you for joining us on this emotional journey of hope and redemption. If you believe in the transformative power of love and loyalty, as shown through the incredible bond between Alex and Titan, please follow along for more inspiring stories that remind us of the healing strength found in even the smallest acts of compassion.